Welcome to Beyond Church Walls. I am your host, Brad Crow. Around here, we discuss various topics from a biblical perspective and the perspective of Christ followers. Thank you for joining today, and I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Several years back, I was working for a financial institution at several different branches. With each branch, I had a few places that I would visit for lunch. I was about to take my lunch for one of the first times that I was there, and so I began to ask some people within the branch what some good eating spots were. And one of the guys said, well, it kind of depends on what you are looking for. And he says, well, if you're looking for a good burger, there's this place down here. If you're looking for good Thai food, you can go here. And he began to mention like maybe 3, 4, 5 restaurants that I could choose depending on what I was looking for. So I left for lunch and I decided that I was going to go to a pretty well-known burger joint that I had been to before. That was just within maybe a mile, half a mile from the branch. And so I went down to this place that was known for their burgers and their fresh cut fries, and I ordered a burger and fries. I sat down, I ate it, enjoyed my lunch, and went back not thinking much else about it. I got back to the branch. I was asked what I settled on, and I told him that I'd went down to the burger joint, and he said, what did you have? And I said, well, it's a burger joint. I had the burger and fries, and he goes, you should try their chicken sandwich. I thought he was joking. I didn't even know they had a chicken sandwich on the menu. And I said, do people actually go down to a burger joint and have their chicken sandwich? And he said, I'm telling you, they have a really good chicken sandwich. I was very skeptical. And he said, I was skeptical as well. But another guy we work with, he went down there. He wasn't really feeling a burger. He saw the chicken sandwich and he came back and told us about this sandwich. A few days later, I had to go back. I ordered the chicken sandwich and the fresh cut fries. I bite into this chicken sandwich, and this chicken sandwich is so good. I mean, it is tender, perfectly seasoned, juicy. It is just an amazing grilled chicken sandwich. And I know what you're thinking listening. You're like, how can you get an amazing grilled chicken sandwich? It's just a grilled chicken sandwich. But this chicken sandwich was so good. It was such a good grilled chicken sandwich. And so I went back and told them that was a great chicken sandwich. I remember going home and telling my wife about this chicken sandwich. I remember telling my children about this chicken sandwich. I remember telling people at church about this chicken sandwich, telling friends about this chicken sandwich. I told tons of people about this chicken sandwich because this chicken sandwich was so good. I remember taking my wife to have this chicken sandwich, taking my brother and my sister-in-law, telling them about it and them trying the chicken sandwich, and everybody reporting back just how good this chicken sandwich was. Psalms 34:8 says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him." If people can just taste, they will see that the Lord is good. But it doesn't say just see that the Lord is good. It says you have to taste and see. We live in a time where there's a lot of varying opinions on Christ and who he is. I've heard people say things such as, how can there be a God if there's so much turmoil? Or would he be good if there's so much heartbreak? You look at the world and there's so much grief and sickness and pain. That doesn't show a good God. But these people are just trying to look and they don't taste. You see, if you begin to taste something, it's an action. Psalms 34:8 says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." Do you remember what it was like if you begin to think back to the first time you tasted and saw that the Lord was good? Do you remember how your life radically changed when you realized just how good the Lord was? And all it took was a little action on your part to taste, and you begin to see that the Lord was good. Do you remember that change? What did just a taste leave you with? It left you hungering for more. Why do I do this podcast? Because I have tasted God's goodness. Why do I preach the gospel? Because I have tasted God's goodness. Why do I tell my children and take them to church and try to lead them towards Christ? Because I know that if they can just get a taste of God's goodness, it will change their lives. Romans 2:4 talks about God's goodness and how it is intended to lead you to repentance. And so I know that if we can just get people to encounter God's goodness, if we can get them just to come in and taste, they will see that God is good. Do you remember as a kid just looking at something and making up your mind whether or not you would like it? Maybe it was broccoli, cauliflower, peas, carrots. You looked at it and you just thought, no, I don't like it. Can this also be true for some with God? They have already made up their mind and they refuse to even taste. And remember, the verse says, taste and see that the Lord is good. It does not say just see. A lot of people want to look from the outside and they say, I see a world full of sickness. God can't be good. I see so much turmoil and pain. God cannot be good. I see so many things wrong in the world. I don't see how God could be good. But they haven't tasted. They're just trying to look with a man's point of view. They haven't actually tasted. Because if they would taste, they would see that the Lord is good. Over the years, many people come into the church, and I will refer to them as observers or onlookers. They do a lot of looking, but not a lot of tasting. And so some people will sit in church for years, and they will be nothing more than observers. They'll be nothing more than onlookers. And they don't do any tasting. Even after years in the church, maybe it's weeks, maybe it's months, maybe it's years, but they never see that the Lord is good because they never submit to taste and see that the Lord is good. How do I taste and see? Tasting is an action. It is taking a leap of faith and allowing God control over your life. Through this leap of faith, there is a scene that God truly is good. I have told you about one of the best chicken sandwiches I ever had, and I've tried my best to explain what made this chicken sandwich so good. Again, it was juicy, well-seasoned, tender, pretty good chicken sandwich. But for you to truly taste this chicken sandwich, you have to try it for yourself. John 35 says, I am the bread of life, Jesus told them. No one who comes to me will ever be hungry, and no one who believes in me will ever thirst again. And so I ask you today, are you willing to taste and see? Are you willing to put self aside? And I want to challenge you today. Maybe you're someone that has spent a long time in the church. Maybe you're someone that has been out of the church. Maybe you're somebody that was raised in church, and you say, I really struggle to see the goodness of God. And I want to challenge you on a personal level today. I want you to ask yourself this question. Have I ever truly tasted? Ask yourself that question today. Did I ever really taste and see that the Lord was good? Or did I just do a lot of looking? Was I just an onlooker? I promise you wholeheartedly today that if you taste, you'll see that the Lord is good. I want to challenge someone else today. It says taste and see that the Lord is good. It doesn't say taste the church and see that the church is good. It doesn't say that. You see a lot of people get hurt in church, and people turn their back on God because they're hurt by a church or they're hurt by a leader. It doesn't say taste and see that a church leader is good. It doesn't say that. It says taste and see that the Lord is good. So I challenge you today, even if you are someone that maybe has sat in a church for quite some time, have you truly tasted the goodness of God? What does that require? It requires a submission on your part. It requires submitting to self and truly reaching out and allowing an experience with the Lord. Early in the podcast, I talked about telling others about this chicken sandwich. When we taste and see that the Lord is good, we can't help but tell others. And this is something that has really challenged me this week because I don't think I do enough of this. And if you were being honest with yourself, you're probably not doing enough of this either. How embarrassing is it that we go around and we'll tell hundreds of people about a chicken sandwich, but we are in a lost and dying world and we struggle to share about the goodness of God. Think about that for a minute. It makes me question everything. Have I really tasted and seen that the Lord is good? I know I have when I begin to think about all that the Lord has done for me. So what has happened is I'm not meditating on the goodness of God. I'm not meditating on how good God truly has been to me. And so I challenge you today to continually taste and continually see that the Lord is good so that you can share this good news with others and that others can be changed. I'm here today because someone told me about the goodness of God. And then I got to a place in my life where I submitted to a taste. And then I saw for myself that he truly was good. Some of you might be listening to me today and you're like, man, this guy is crazy. Maybe you're just listening because you know me, and I do appreciate that. Maybe you're not saved, and that's okay. But I tell you today, you might look at me like I'm crazy. You might say, man, this guy is senile. You might not even believe in the goodness of God. The only difference between me and you is you haven't tasted yet. and you say, "Oh, I've tasted." No, you haven't tasted, because it is impossible to taste and not see that the Lord is good. And so I challenge you today, reach out, taste and see that the Lord is good.